This week we are celebrating the unofficial start of summer with a grilling live stream on Friday. The Botanist is partnering with me on this one, so you know there will be good cocktails too. It starts at 4 p.m. Eastern, and you can cook along if you get the shopping list in advance. The link is in the video description. Make sure to grab a bottle of the Botanist Isla Dry Gin on Drizzly. Get your aprons ready and fire up your grills. I'll see you on Friday.
This is our first pasta tasting, the bucatini tartufo. Mushrooms were milled in Hudson and they were foraged just this morning.
Oh, nice.
Gorgeous.
Oh my god.
God damn.
I'm like literally like getting like buttery wet, like the noodles.
I would raw dog this pasta even if I knew it had a disease.
I'm a gassy bitch. I eat stinky food.
Hey, what's up, guys? Whoa. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Binging with Babish, where this week we're taking a look at the bucatini al tartufo from Broad City, and you might be wondering, what am I doing with this whole wheel of Parmesan? Well, I cracked it open for an upcoming episode of Botched by Babish, and considering the fancy pants backstory of this dish, I thought it'd be perfect time for one of those set it on fire in a wheel of cheese things. Anyway, as you might have guessed, we gotta start this episode with fresh pasta. I've got about 1.5 cups each all-purpose and semolina flour with a pinch of salt, which I'm gonna pulse together a few times in the bowl of food processor before cracking in 4 eggs. Pretty imprecise recipe, you might need to add more flour or a little bit of water as necessary. But we're just going to process it for about 60 seconds, scraping down the sides of the bowl as necessary, and kneading by hand until a crumbly dough forms. We want crumbly because we're going to pass this thing through the pasta extruder. Go ahead and wrap it up in plastic wrap and let it rest at room temperature for 30 minutes before feeding into said extruder, one golf ball sized piece at a time. We've got a relatively dry dough here made with semolina because it's going to make the dough more sturdy. Extruders really beat the absolute hell out of your pasta, and if it's overhydrated or too tender, it will turn into mush. We are of course using the bucatini plate, which is a thick, hollow spaghetti. Once you've pressed it all through and have chopped it to your desired lengths, this guy can hang out in the fridge under cover of plastic wrap until we're ready to use it. You can go overnight, but I wouldn't recommend it because he might have some discoloration. So that's the bucatini part of our bucatini al tartufo, a pair of fresh black summer truffles. These guys clock in at about $35 an ounce, so we're going to try to maximize their flavor a few ways. First, you want to make sure that your truffle slicer is set as thin as possible so the truffles practically melt. And then we're going to make some truffle infused butter and olive oil, about 3 tablespoons of each, that we're going to heat until foaming, kill the heat, and using a rasp style grater, grate in about 1 ounce of truffle. Then we're going to cook our pasta until al dente, in this case about 2 minutes. Add it to the still hot butter, oil, and truffle mixture and give it a toss. Now, if you don't have a giant wheel of Parmesan kicking around, just grate some fresh over this before you toss it. But if you do have a giant wheel of Parmesan kicking around, well, this is your lucky day, because we're going to be preparing this pasta alla rota, or right inside the damn wheel itself. We want a hollowed out sort of crater in the middle with plenty of Parmesan shavings in which we can toss our pasta with about 1/4 cup of pasta water. This is 100% just for show and not going to taste any better than what you can do on your stovetop, but what a show it is. Once the sauce has emulsified into something creamy and cheesy and truffly, we're going to plate it up. I'm going to top it with a little bit of truffle caviar just to really hammer home the truffle, and of course a whole bunch more of our freshly shaved black winter truffle. And there you have it, entirely from scratch, bucatini alla tartufo, alla rota, alla Italia. I don't know. And it's really, really, really tasty, but as you can see, homemade bucatini is pretty unwieldy. It's way too thick, it doesn't want to twirl, and it sometimes breaks up when you're tossing it around the cheese wheel. So I think that this dish calls for some high quality, commercially dried pasta. I'm going to cook this according to manufacturer's specifications, and then it's the same deal of making the infused truffle butter and oil, killing the heat right when it starts to foam, grating in our truffles, and tossing the pasta in it once it's finished cooking. But we're going to add one last wrinkle of luxury to this already very luxurious pasta. That's right, it wouldn't be pasta in a giant wheel without some flambéed cognac. So I've got about 1/4 cup of some rather expensive cognac here, which I'm going to heat in a high-walled sauté pan until it's just starting to bubble around the edges. Just hot enough that the alcohol evaporates and we can torch it. Then we're bringing the saucepan of still very much on fire cognac over to our cheese wheel and very, 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 very carefully pouring it inside. I should probably tell you not to try this at home. An alcohol fire is no way to die. Once you got all the cognac in there, we're going to spoon it around until all the excess alcohol burns off. This is also going to help pre-melt the cheese into a sauce. Once you are absolutely sure that the booze is extinguished, we're going to toss our pasta in there, spiritedly toss it around to emulsify the cognac with the cheese and the butter and the oil and all the beautiful stuff. Plate it up, of course, with a hefty shaving of fresh black summer truffle. Then I'm going to place the truffle pearls on top of that. Thank you again to Italia Squisita for sending me these. And there you have it, the truffle pasta of my dreams. And just like Ilana and Lincoln, I'm going to say a whole bunch of gross sex stuff about it while I eat it.